Hello, you curious people. Welcome back to Curiosity. Today we'll discuss what Sikhism has to say on free will. Again, like previously, I've taken a few clips from a few Sikh YouTube channels, especially Nanak Naam and Basics of Sikhi. Firstly, let's see what the founder of Nanak Naam, Satpal Singh, has to say on the topic.
Is everything hukam or is everything up to us? Do we have free will or is everything preordained in destiny? The reality is we are not separate from the oneness. That's the reality. We are never separate from that oneness, but we've been given the illusion of separation. Once you go through the effort of doing all the things to destroy your ego, when you destroy your ego, you look back and you realize you never were the one doing it in the first place. The ego is illusion. The ego isn't real. You aren't real. You are an illusion. But because you believe your own illusion, Guruji talks to the illusion. Guru is able to see through your illusion, but you're not. So Guru will talk to you because you believe the illusion that I am. When you destroy the illusion that I am, remember, you don't destroy the ego, you destroy the illusion that the ego ever existed. You think I exist. And because you think you exist, you have to go through the effort of getting rid of the I. When you get rid of the I is the point at which you realize that the I has never existed, that all that has ever existed is you. So who was the one doing the effort? When there was no I to begin with, then you realize that I was not capable of doing the effort, that the oneness was doing the effort. The oneness created the illusion and the oneness destroyed the illusion. So everything is in hukam. But if you don't know, then Guru will talk to you as though it isn't. So there isn't a contradiction here. There isn't this idea that I am free to do what I want. Free will doesn't exist. But because you think free will exists, Guru will talk to your free will. Free will is an illusion. Free will is a deception, and free will is something that that's the whole of society is pushing this idea that you have free will. When we talk about free will, let's think about what we mean. What we mean is I have a will that is free from anybody else making this decision. I can make some decisions on my own. And by saying that, what you're saying is, God, you can control all the big things in my life. You can control when I'm born and when I die and who I get married to and how many children I'm going to have. But if I'm going to pick up a cup of coffee or pick up a cup of tea, that's my free will. I am free to make that choice independently of you. As soon as you say that I am free to make a choice which is not your choice, you've created duality. And that duality says, I'm over here, you're somewhere else. And by creating that duality, that's where free will exists. Free will exists within duality. But this is the Advaita path. This is the path of non-duality. The very first step of Sikhi is Ik Onkar, non-duality. When you understand that there is no I and there is no God that is separate from I, then how can you have free will? Free from who? The only way that you can have free will is saying, I'm free from you. I'm separate from you. So free will is dependent on duality. Sikhi is trying to get you away from duality.
Wow, that was fantastic. That was sensational. When I first saw this video, I was absolutely surprised to know that this is what Sikhism has to say. Really interesting. Now let's see what Basics of Sikhi has to say.
Everybody I see is diseased, they say. What's the disease now? Homme. When I said homme is the biggest disease we could have. Dira rog hai. It's like a fatal disease. You're going to die from it. What's this homme? Dira rog hai. When it says homme is, hom means I. Man means me. I, me. He's here right now. We're not separate from one another. We're inside one another. God is not out there. God is in here and everywhere. So what we are is just a soul. He is us. We're just trying to realize that and remember that. So when you say like how you think, how me, my thought, my answer, everything about where we are right now is almost predetermined. You might say, have I got free will, have I not got free will? It's hard to say. It's hard to say that. Because Vaheguru made all of this happen. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, where we are right now, we have free will, yeah? I can look, I've got free will, I can do that if I want to. Yeah? So my immediate focus is to focus my actions towards walking towards God. But as I grow spiritually, Maharaji Kirpa, if I grow more spiritually, I will understand that from the very beginning, it wasn't in my control. It was all written.
So they'll say that ultimately free will does not exist. But in this world that we are living in, since we assume that we have free will, God will tell us that, alright, in this unenlightened, materialistic, desire-driven world that you're living in, fine, assume that you have free will and live as if you have free will. But once you attain spiritual enlightenment, you will realize the ultimate truth, which is that free will does not exist.
ਸਾਰਾ ਖੇਲ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਸਾਰਾ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਖੇਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ
And we understand hukum. Maharaj says, Nanak hukme je bujhe ta home kehna koi. If we understood the hukum, then we wouldn't speak in ego. We wouldn't speak in anything but I am one with you, Vaheguru. Yeah? So then therefore, if we're still living in ego, if we still are not one with the one, that means that we need to be real about where we are. Understand where we are in the world.
Yeah, so in Sikhism, this is the very concept of Ek Onkar, meaning the oneness of everything, non-duality. Advaita, as it's called in Hinduism. Advaita, meaning non-duality. This is all going to be discussed in the future.
Hukme andar sabko, bahar hukum na koi. So right now, while we've been talking, people died all over the world, yeah? That was hukum, we can't change that. What is that hukum? That's the question. Main karan ki, what is hukum for me? The hukum is Bani. Nanak likhya na. Nanak is written down the hukum for you. Gurbani is the hukum of our Guru. Yeah? How apo bolna janda, main kahya sab hukum aao jiyo. Hukum is written down for us. What have we to do? Do what our Guru told us to do. Once you leave, you find out, actually there was two perspectives on life. The first perspective was like this. I am in charge, I can do what I can do, let me do my best. The other perspective was actually, it was all hukum. Right? But we can't operate from that perspective. It's very hard to operate from the perspective that everything is written. Right? So at the beginning stages of our Sikhi, what we try and do is we try and operate from the perspective of, what must I do? As we progress in our Sikhi, kirpa hogi, avastha vadagi, then we get to see the truth a bit more, that actually from the very beginning it was all hukum as well. So all that udam we did, all the strength we had, everything we did, all the effort we put in to wake up in the morning, do nitnem and work hard and sort our life out, when we get to the end of the game and we look back, we realize it was all hukum. Odi khedi si, and we thought we were working hard because we didn't have any jor anyway at the first place, it was all his jor. But had we started thinking that at the beginning of our life, we wouldn't have got anywhere. And the truth really is that everything was in hukum, but we can't start thinking from that truth. We've got to start thinking, main ki karna. That's why you need a bit of main. You know how Mara says, homme dire rog hai, daru pi ismai? Homme is our disease, right? We suffer from homme. Then he says the medicine is inside homme. You need a bit of main to get rid of main.
So in this world, he says that we have to live as if we have free will.
With his will, Uttam, somebody becomes Uttam, somebody becomes high in the eyes of Vaheguru. With his hukamda, with his order, hukami Uttam, Neech. But then some people come really low in the eyes of Vaheguru.
So it's with Vaheguru's will that someone becomes high and low in value, not with someone's free will. Let's see what Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book of Sikhism, has to say. Let's see a few scriptural verses that seem like they support free will, first of all. According to one's desires, one's condition is determined. Again, this does not really talk about free will and why and how does he desire what he desires and where the desires come from, what causes the desires. According to Sikhism, it obviously comes from God's will. In deep humility, I fall at the feet of the perfect, true Guru. Again, this doesn't anywhere say anything about free will. Where does the humility come from? Obviously, God's will, if you believe in God. Now let's switch to where Guru Granth Sahib talks about determinism and lack of free will. The Guru Granth Sahib says, "By one's own actions, nothing can be done. Destiny was predetermined from the very beginning. By great good fortune, I meet my God, and then all pain of separation departs." Guru Arjan Dev Ji. All these things happen according to the will of the Lord God. No one can erase the preordained writ of destiny. He himself is the true Guru. He himself is the Lord. He himself unites in his union. Guru Ram Das Ji. Union with him and separation from him come by his will. We come to receive what is written in our destiny. Guru Nanak Dev Ji. I think after watching this video, it's pretty much clear that Sikhism is that religion which is the most clear about the ultimate lack of free will. Thank you all for watching the video. If you want to know more about free will, check out my other videos on it. I've created a playlist called Free Will and I've linked it in the description below. If you like the video, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and do share with as many people as you can. And definitely do share with all the Punjabi and Sikh friend of yours. At least you can do that for me. Stay tuned and stay curious. I'll see you in the next one.